Psalm 15, a very short psalm, 5 verses. It says, it's a psalm of David. He says, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not, he that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. So in these 5 short verses, David he's basically answering his own question that he poses in the very beginning. Like he says, he begins with this and you see this pattern, throughout the Bible. You might ask somebody, the narrator will ask a question like, "Who shall do this?" or "Who shall do that?" and then they go ahead and answer it immediately after. That's a common pattern you might see. So in this case, the question is, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? So it's generally just, who shall be, who shall dwell with the Lord? Who shall, be allowed in his secret place, and be, who is allowed to get close to him, to be familiar with him? And so it says, he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. So basically he's saying, if you want to dwell with God, if you want to be with God, you have to walk uprightly and work righteousness, and speak the truth in your heart. You can't be deceitful, you can't be wicked, you can't be corrupt. That the pure in heart shall see God. And verse 3, he continues with the answer. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. So he not only does he, walk uprightly and speaketh the truth, he's not sassy with his tongue. He's slow to speak. He doesn't backbite with his tongue. He doesn't do evil to the next person, to his neighbor. He doesn't take up a reproach against his neighbor. He doesn't hold a grudge or try to start fights. So in verse 4, in whose eyes a vile person is contemned. So vile people, those who do evil, who are wicked and base, he sees those people with contempt in his heart, like a form of disgust. Not saying he hates them, not saying God says, "Oh, you hate them," but their wicked ways are to be frowned upon and to be looked down on, and those people who do such things, he looks at with contempt. This is the person that will dwell with God. It says, and it continues, but he that honoreth them that fear the Lord. So this person that will dwell with God and be familiar and close with God, he honors those people who fear the Lord and actually have a reverence for God in their hearts. He respects those who fear the Lord, and he looks at with contempt those who are foolish and morally degraded, I guess. Foolish people. And then last thing, he that putteth not out his money to usury. So he doesn't lend with excessive interest. He's not greedy. He doesn't lend out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. So he doesn't go out of his way to, or try to take advantage of innocent people, maybe particularly poor people. He doesn't go out of his way. He doesn't necessarily say poor here, but he doesn't go out of his way to take advantage of people when he has the opportunity to, or if he had the opportunity to. He doesn't take advantage of those innocent people. And then the last thing he says, he that doeth these things, all these things he just said, shall never be moved. Shall never be moved. Shall be planted firm. It reminds me of the parable that Jesus gave with the one who built his house on the sand versus the one who built his house on the rock. Like The one who built his house on the sand built his house, no foundation or anything. He's like, okay, he's living in the house for a while until the storm came. And then the wind beat up on the house and the floods beat up on the side of the house. And great was the fall of that house. There was no chance for it to stand because it didn't have any foundation. It was moved easily. But the one who built his house on the rock, he built his house. It may have taken longer because he had to lay to get the foundation right and to do everything right and to build everything correctly. But when the wind came, when the storm came, the wind beat up on the house, the waves beat up on the house, whatever else beat up on the house, and the house did not fall. The house stood. It was not moved. It was able to stand firm and planted because it was built on the rock. And that just made me, that brought that to my memory. So if you don't want to be moved, be honest. Walk uprightly. Don't be sharp with your tongue, or don't have reproach, or don't have anger or strife with your neighbor. Look at those who do evil with contempt. I'm not saying you look down on them, but despise evil, such that what did Paul say? You hate even the garment spotted by the flesh. Like don't partake in evil persons in their foolishness, in their moral corruptness. But honor those that fear the Lord. So your brothers and your sisters in Christ, through the power of the Spirit, you'll honor those people, fellowship with them and rejoice in the brotherhood. And then this is kind of specific, but he says, don't put your money out to usury. So I guess ultimately, don't be greedy for gain. And also in this same verse 5, don't try to take advantage of people, particularly innocent people. Even if you have the opportunity to maybe cheat or take advantage of somebody, don't do it. Be integrous. He that doeth these things shall never be moved.